Hey guys, happy Friday. It is May 27th, 2022, and you're watching episode 4 of the DevDojo Journey, a weekly video series where I talk about building DevDojo in public and hopefully growing it to 10K a month. So in each video, it is very short. I'm gonna try and keep it around between 5 to 10 minutes, hopefully around 5 minutes, and I break it down into 3 parts, which includes DevDojo stats, some updates, and I will also cover some questions from the previous video. So let's go ahead and jump into the stats. Okay, so it looks like that we are at 58,019 users who have signed up for a free DevDojo account. Super cool, the community is definitely growing. Okay, and then we jump over to the paying active subscribers. So paying users, there is 705, and I think that's only up from about 2 from the last video, but you know, it's a step in the right direction. And it looks like that we are at 7,140 for the month to date. I think that's down $100, but this is going to fluctuate based on users who sign up for a monthly plan or a yearly plan. So right around the same as last week. And then if we look at the analytics, we are at 25,000 users who have visited DevDojo, and that's about the same as last week as well. So we're kind of just hovering around this 25,000 mark. Hopefully we can do some SEO things in the future to increase that number, but still pretty solid all around. Okay, so a few updates for this week. So I was actually playing around with a dark version of DevDojo, and this is also going to be released with this new logo. So you can kind of see what the new DevDojo logo is going to look like. It's a dark mode right now, and I'm going to possibly have dark mode as default, and then you can switch and toggle this to light mode. So basically adding like a dark mode to DevDojo that's going to be released with the new beta version of Tails. And speaking of Tails, let's jump over here. Let's go ahead and launch the app. And one thing that I was working on this last week was the ability to have a separate URL. So you can see if I hover over the project settings, we have this URL, it's coolbeans.devdojosite.test. I can open this up and then see what the site is going to look like there. Let me actually jump over to a project that looks a little bit better. So we have this vacation site. It's vacation-site.devdojo.test. So you can see that we have the URL right here in front of us. So people can basically build the site and then, add a bunch of different pages. And it's going to live at, this is just a test URL, but it's actually going to be .devdojo.site. So you can create like these subdomains that have really nice names like awesome.devdojo.site or coolbeans.devdojo.site. And then you can also point your own custom domain to it. A bunch of cool stuff. So that is one piece that I was working on. I also added some updates to this media selector so you can paste an image. I still got to work on the uploading functionality. But I also fixed a few bugs and added some tweaks in. One thing specifically, let's say that I edit the text, The Great Big Adventure. So now we have updated and we can click on, well, actually it's going to autosave, but if it didn't autosave, I could actually go ahead and just click on the save right there and it will save on the project. Also, you can go up here to File, Save, and I think there's a few more things that I added inside of the menu. Okay, let's jump into some questions from last week. So we have a question, and this is kind of just a generic question about somebody who signed up for a pro account. They want to know when the new version of Tails is going to be released, and they said it would be great to save pages and layouts so you can come back and edit that later. So that is actually going to be available in the next version of Tails, as well as a bunch of other cool features. Let's go ahead and tackle another question. What is the tech stack you are using mostly in your development? So I am really sold on Laravel. Laravel is a PHP framework. There's also another technology called Livewire, which allows you to do these AJAX requests really easily between the client and the server. And the stack is actually called the Tall Stack. You can just Google it. I've done some write-ups about the Tall Stack on DevDojo as well. Let's see. And now Owen actually asks, if Laravel didn't exist, what would be your full stack go-to? So if Laravel didn't exist, I probably would be on the Ruby train. So I'd be programming in Ruby on Rails, I actually started jumping over to Ruby on Rails and learning a bit about that and getting into the Ruby ecosystem before Laravel came out. Then I found out about Laravel around version 3, and instead of going the Ruby on Rails route, I kept on with PHP and haven't regretted it since. But probably it would be Ruby on Rails. If not, it would just be like Node.js using Express. Probably would have gotten into React. I love Vue as well, so probably would have been something around like a JavaScript full stack framework. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. That's all the questions that we have. Remember, if you want me to answer questions in next week's video, be sure to leave a question below and I will be sure to hit you up with that answer in next week's video.